Hello and welcome, friends, fans, and victims of Luna's ult.
10 seconds to go.
No, it doesn't work. There's nothing there.
5 seconds.
Yeah,
So,
in
we
case
have
there's something
round
you
3
don't want
of the
to-
Tier 6, supposedly, USA
Dyer's
Battle
banned.
Cup tournament.
Win
Here
better
on
living.
August 6th, 5th?
One of those days.
One of those days in the wonderful year of 2016. We have Odin's Vikings
I mean, you have
versus
Fire Blast.
Domino's
Radiant's banned.
Pizza crew.
Pizza Crew. Here I am, Scoot, and here with me is...
Some kind of Steve.
Welcome aboard, Steve. Glad to have you here.
That
You-
makes one of us.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah,
you excited
I think
for a
that's
third
the
round of
generally
Dota with our good friends, these
5
people?
seconds.
Oh god, it's a drow strat.
Yeah.
Reserve time.
And they haven't banned Visage yet. I'm confused.
I'm hungry.
I guess, do we know anyone on this team, Domino's, that actually plays Visage? Yan, maybe, but he's not that of a big of a micro guy.
No, none of them exceptionally excel at multi-character
Wait,
heroes.
Dyer's banned.
I would be very surprised if we saw Visage.
Sad day, sad day. Here on Odin's Vikings, we have Loki,
And a Blade Mail sucks against.
good name for the
Yeah.
situation,
And Blade Mail
WW,
sucks against Drow, because Drow has
what?
tons of armor.
Wrexham, Dean,
5
and
seconds.
Fenriz.
Well, 2 out of 5 on thematic names. I've seen worse.
Indeed.
Reserve time.
Letting the Timber Saw through, that's been
But
a
looking at
popular
it for-
ban recently.
Radiant's pick.
That's a good core.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
a good core.
I haven't heard what they've done to Timbersaw to
Now
make
you
him
just
so
have to destroy
Dyer's
it.
pick.
That's what we have.
often picked and often banned nowadays.
I hear he cuts down trees.
Got rid of Juggernaut, possibly because they were hoping on going for a squishy, multi-purpose
Radiant's
carry
banned.
like Invoker. Or there's a chance maybe they scouted it out and knew they were going to want to pick Juggernaut, but then why would they pick Anti-Mage?
They've definitely messed with the lineup that Domino's has been trying to run the last couple of games by picking up the Jakiro and banning the...
10 seconds
Juggernaut.
to go.
Indeed. What else does Caketown really play well besides Jakiro?
5 seconds.
Well, absolutely nothing.
What a shame. Maybe they'll give him Drow Ranger.
Reserve
No,
time.
that's not a support. Maybe they'll give it to him anyway and play him as a support.
I think Nian was predicting earlier that they were going to win the first 2 matches but lose the final and take second out of this tree. Very likely that we're seeing some match fixing here.
Oh my.
Give it to mid.
I wish he'd told me before I bet all my rares on this. Ban of Ricky. Slightly surprising, since, what are they going to
It's
pick?
you.
Um,
You should have it.
they handled the last Ricky so well. I feel like they're prepared for that sort of
Yeah.
pub strat of picking Ricky.
Dyer's
I think
So-
that last Ricky was handling himself pretty well. He certainly wasn't doing much else for his team.
Hmm. Lena pickup. That should be interesting. If they have the kind of coordination
10
that we would
seconds to
expect from a
go.
team
Yeah.
who's already beaten 2 other teams in the same
5
tournament,
seconds.
maybe we'll be able to see a Lena who actually knows how to land stuns and teammates that can follow up on it.
There's certainly a lot of
Reserve time.
potential here for the Vikings to burst down the 2 very fragile heroes that Domino's has picked so far.
Yes.
I would be feeling a little nervous at this point.
I foresee some ice paths into Lena Light Strike Arrays, into Sunstrikes, and some seriously dead drows.
It's certainly something that I wouldn't be surprised to see.
Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor getting picked up by Domino's.
Yeah, he's
Radiant's
absolutely
banned.
going to stop all of those nukes. Oh, wait.
Hmm. Now, Precision Aura affects...
10 seconds to go.
It doesn't affect Death Ward. Even though it's physical damage coming
5
out of it,
seconds.
it's not a unit Precision Aura effects, correct? Allied ranged hero units...
Reserve time.
Adds bonus damage to the physical attack of allied, ranged, hero units.
And
Fire's
creeps
bane.
when activated. No, I don't think there's any way for that to affect the Death Ward.
Ah, okay, okay.
Come on.
It was
Dire's
interesting
bane.
to me that they picked
There's that
Viper.
Meepo ban again. I'm starting to
come
wonder
on.
if there's something to this.
We're gonna have to interview them after the match and ask them about that.
Very likely something I've
10
been doing
seconds
wrong
to
for
go.
years.
I'm sure Nyan lets you know about
5
that
seconds.
often.
No one listens to that hack.
I'm confused about the Viper ban, honestly, and I'm hoping you can explain it to me. They pick it up. One of the most well-known things Viper can do with his corrosive skin against targeted spells. I'm not seeing a single targeted spell except Laguna Blade. I guess Invoker's Cold Snap. That's all I can think of. And yet they picked it up. Does Nyan just really like Viper? Maybe he's in a good place right now.
Laguna Blade?
Right, because it's a single target ability.
10 seconds to go.
Wind Ranger.
Radiant's pick.
Who played Wind Ranger first game? I can't talk and remember things at the same time, so since I was talking then, I'm surprised I even remember Wind Ranger was played.
10
They used up
seconds
almost
to
all
go.
of their reserve time to pick that Wind Ranger.
Shame, they're gonna need that for
5
picking their...
seconds.
Noses?
That's a good answer.
Reserve time.
Reserve time. Spectre. Interesting. Definitely heavier carry coming out of the gate with Vikings.
Yeah, with this lineup, I don't think we should be too surprised going for something very heavy like that. Well, Spectre's been able to start exerting herself in recent games that I've seen earlier in the match than we used to see.
Hey, can anybody come up here?
And we're in
No, I'm
game.
dead.
All right. Would you like to? I don't know. If you feel like the names are straight in your mind, would you like to call out the
Everybody
names
gets
of our faithful Domino's folks?
I don't even know who the president of this country is.
Give us a few more months, no one will. We'll see it as it happens. But I recognize this guy, Master, in the first game.
Yep, he's stuck with his ogre.
Gilmar, that's Cake, maybe? This is Eldent on Drow. Nyan has got to be on Viper like he was last game. And lastly,
Mark II on Wind Ranger.
excellent. Let's see how many failed
It's
shekels
okay, it's
we
not
get in this
great.
game.
He's pretty good.
I did bring a drink.
I thought
Meanwhile, on
Silence
Odin's Vikings,
made it so
Dean
he could change
is
songs.
30 seconds
Lena.
to showtime.
We have RKSM on Timbersaw. Looking to contest bottom rune is Loki on Jakiro. Fenris on Spectre. And W on Invoker. 10 seconds now to rune spawn. Let's zoom out a little bit. Posturing themselves to take easier control of it. But the downhill is right there close to the rune for Radiance. So, Invoker moves into place and takes the bounty rune. Meanwhile, top lane, Viper was able to snatch it up without too much contesting. A little bit of damage on Timbersaw, but nothing he won't heal up in a few seconds.
Disappointing. I wanted blood.
I know, right? Blood and oil from Timbersaw would have been nice. Wind Ranger having to, oh, who else was up here? There was a Viper and Crow Ranger. Someone having to skill, like, frost arrows to keep them back would have been entertaining. Whoa. Interesting pickup from Drow Ranger. Precision Aura first. Basically announcing that Timbersaw is not someone she wants to kill early on. Which makes sense if she expected him to go reactive armor. But he, in the meantime, actually goes aggressive with a
Getting
timber
got
chain.
on again.
Going reactive armor only
I'm dead.
2nd level.
Misses it though, doesn't get any damage off. Yeah, that's definitely a weird choice
Oh,
by
you gotta
now.
be kidding me!
Feels like there's very little reason to go for that early.
Yeah,
My
very
mic is
aggressive,
on.
very hopeful.
Icy head of yours hasn't cooled
I
yet.
Probably
thought I
just
was
a clumsy
fine,
fat finger mistake.
but I wasn't.
Well, top lane impressively, Timbersaw is actually barely ahead in last hits from this ranged Drow Ranger.
That's embarrassing. I'd be ashamed.
Yes. Yes, you would be. Especially since she went a Wraith Band build.
Absolutely,
decent amount of damage.
she's built for heavy damage here, but
Trouble brewing
just
that radiant
completely
bomb
failing to
down.
do it.
Oh, my bad. I was even thinking about checking the other lanes. Let's get a quick replay of what just happened. Got a lot of fighting in the jungle. Spectre going for the creeps in here, but they don't want any part of it. So Dilron comes in as Ogre Magi. They attack the somewhat tanky Jakiro, and they're just able to shackle him, enough damage to take him out. Indeed, and they back off without much support coming in from the other side.
Excellent pickoff. That's impressive.
Oh, F! Invoker came up top, guys.
Oh, Invoker was headed top, by the way. We should have let him know.
Lane is not going well.
Bottom lane, they're curing themselves up with some mana potions. Trying to be very careful not to walk into some area that Jakiro would be able to pick him up. But he hasn't gone Ice Path at all. It's all been Liquid Fire. Interesting skill build for a tri-lane like this.
I'm
Yeah,
not stopping the timber. I came mid.
I'm not sure I can agree with that kind of skill build.
Yes.
Ooh, lots of damage on Fresh Sausage. Eldon has to
He's
back up
good.
a little bit,
He's
do a
very
little bit
good
of
at
damage.
timber.
Pro tip, don't stand by the trees.
Ouch. Ouch. 10 reactive armor.
Yeah, going heavy on the reactive armor early means you need to either leave him alone or go very aggressive.
Almost a good dodge from Eldon. He's trying to juke around, but there's no way he's going to be able to do anything with this. Ouch! He's not thinking like Timbersaw here. Walking exactly where Timbersaw could more easily chain.
Hallmark of an absolutely terrible
Great
player.
shackle shot as he escapes,
Top towers get
but gets sunstruck anyway. Bounty Rune going the way of Dilron.
the dire might
He's
wanna
being watched by
mine
so many
the
creeps,
top
I almost
tower.
wonder if they're going to come fetch him and do some damage, but they're too
Invoker
far away
is
down
missing.
here.
Hero's head. Yep.
TP coming in from Wind Ranger again. Who's Wind Ranger? Mark II?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being stalked by this Timbersaw. Oh wait, she knows he's here. And by she I mean Drow Ranger, not Eldon. Because Eldon is not a girl. Right, Steve?
Damage.
God, I hope so.
Double damage rune on Invoker. He's already fairly uncontested here mid lane, as the Viper has a whopping 8 fewer last hits than Invoker.
Definitely a significant gap this early.
Ouch, walking straight. Oh, excellent dodge from Nyan Pudge. Man, I was on the edge of this
There's the timber saw.
sofa. They're pinging out on Wind Ranger. Spectre is. They know he's Ogre Magi is in here. Possible light strike away, array. Nope, nothing like that. And again, not even skilling Ice Path. Very
Dire's
interesting.
mid-tower could use
Wonder what they hope to
help.
accomplish.
Thank you.
You know what? If he's just a jungle pulling Chikiro, maybe that
That'll
makes
help me a
sense.
ton.
Meanwhile, Nan Pudge back at base, hurt from his last experience. Let's see if he can once again attempt to contest this. Now Invoker is at a whopping 33, while Viper only has 17 last hits.
Yeah, definitely struggling mid against this very right-click heavy Invoker.
I'll be with you in a second, too.
Timbersaw chasing down a Drow, just barely is not able to get off his Timber Chain. He's being juked around a little bit, but it doesn't seem to matter because any damage that Drow is able to do to him just gets negated by his abilities. Good little dodge. Not quite what he expected, but what is he still doing here? He's hoping that a teammate will come to his rescue.
Four here. There's four.
But the soonest someone can show up is just Witch Doctor. Is he able to finish him off? He is! Impressive move, but just a bit too late to be able to save the life of his friend.
Yeah, that was not a good trade.
Oh,
No, not at all. Not if you're hoping for Drow to become
No.
anything later in the game. Dying to an offlaner like that? Great shackle shot coming out of Yan Touch. Dean and Loki moving in,
that was awesome.
trying to spit off their spells with their large mana pools. Spectre coming in to do some damage, but I don't see anything landing and finishing off this big fat ogre. Keeps running, shadow shot. He makes it under the tower. Oh, a few more nukes, just finish him off. Very painful display there. They definitely knew what they were doing, chasing him that far. Just waiting for the spells to come off cooldown.
Invisibility.
Invisibility rune activated by Invoker. Wanders top. Hey, Invoker's on his way top, by the way.
No.
Yeah, this aggressive play is going very well for the Vikings so far.
Chain coming out, plenty of damage from everything Invoker has. Drow's toast.
Yeah.
Domino's pings out the Viper and Chikuro here in the woods. Loki taking a lot of damage to Chikuro. His antagonist is getting
I'm on
picked
my
on,
way
he's
over.
stunned. Liquid Fire, he's trying to escape again. Finally, Witch Doctor is able to take out the Chikuro, and maybe they can turn and burn Spectre. Takes a lot of damage and gets taken down finally by Ogre Magi.
That could have easily gone much worse for Domino's. They were a little overextended and strung out, but managed to collapse.
Gene trying to make an escape while his friend shows up. Timbersaw gets here, but is not able to get
Very
the tree.
dangerous in these trees here.
Yeah, they've got a lot of spells, a lot of mana, and a health pool. He lands the timber chain like he was supposed to, and now they're backing away. They just don't have the kind of damage that they need to finish off the Timbersaw with spells. Very unfortunate they were caught out there and didn't retreat sooner.
Just a little too greedy.
Overconfident.
Take the tower here.
Maybe not being communicated what farm and experience and,
We need some vision
stuff
there, yeah.
Timbersaw got up there. He has plenty of experience at a level
Kill
9.
this guy. Quickly.
Every coin helps.
I'm gonna hop over to hero level. Yeah, Timbersaw is actually the
He's
highest
gone.
right
He's gone.
now,
Don't.
followed by Invoker. Then finally the Dire team with Drow, Viper, and Windranger.
Domino's has been a little slow with rotations
No,
up
I
to
don't
now, but
wanna-
they're going for a smoked gank now, and hopefully we'll be able to make up some room.
Now I do. Hey, that's rude.
They've got the ward coverage going on in the Dire jungle. They could easily move where they feel they'd serve best. But at the same time, Jakiro's backing out away and is smoked
Oh, no!
himself. Rotating around mid lane. Behind Invoker, he sees him, he's making a dodge for it. As the ice wall, nothing. Timbersaw in here. He's going to take a lot of hurt from all these stuns, but is able to timber chain away. Invoker walks back into the middle of them, starts opening up some hate on Yan.
Too greedy, Viper.
That nice, juicy, wounded metal shell of a Timbersaw. I almost can't blame him.
So easy to take down.
And he jukes up into the trees and takes out Ogre Magi. Did not see that one coming. This is a pretty dang experienced Timbersaw we're seeing here.
Definitely knows what he's doing. This guy needed to not be left alone for the first time.
Got intercepted by a Windranger who was not ready to actually take him down. What were you doing there? Drow Ranger in pursuit. Has the frost arrows. Ogre Magi in with a stun. He's toast. Finally, for a whopping 527 gold, Timbersaw dies.
I'm not sure he still regrets that.
If anything, the bad part for Radiant, Odin's Vikings right now, is that 527 gold went the way of Drow Ranger. Hopefully we'll see some decent item coming the way of Energy Booster. That can't be right. This must be someone else's
That might be
stash.
coming for me.
I hope it's
Yeah.
someone else's stash.
Oh, I missed. Okay.
Jeez, Eldon. stealing from other people's stashes. Bottom lane getting pushed. But Odin's Vikings are on the defensive. Lena's got sufficient mana. Spectre's low on health,
Just get out of there.
so she might not want to hang around. And the big bad Timbersaw is showing up.
No.
He's making a move for it. Timber chain in. Oh, backs away after it doesn't actually do any damage. Shackle shot and an excellent ice pass that takes out the drow. But the drow is barely alive. He gets taken out by a dragon slave, however. That Lena's attack is very long range. Chakra.
This play just feels like it's really disrupting Domino's style and putting him on the back foot.
Careful, get on. You're about to get.
They had enough rotations there to kind of make up for that lost team fight. They can sort of slow down Dean, but I don't know if it's out of a misclick because she wasn't moving at all, but she totally dodged that shackle shot.
The end.
Definitely turned that around and managed to make something out of it. That shouldn't have gone their way.
Radiant's bottom tower seen better days.
Very impressive.
I don't know if they have the momentum to turn this into a tower, but it's not outside the realm of possibility.
It's not.
Cold snap, and Dilrun gets taken out.
Clumsy.
Dire's mid tower's nothing now.
A lot of these heroes are facing other heroes that are in other lanes, and they don't seem to quite get what to expect from the heroes. Drow now knows the danger of Timbersaw. Oh, good escape. Good escape from
Dire's
Elden.
having
I believe that was.
difficulties. Dire's
No,
structures
Viper.
looking fortified.
Yeah, it was Nyan teleporting.
Dire's mid tower.
But yeah, it seems like these heroes, like Ogre Magi mid with the Invoker, just underestimate. Maybe expect that his teammates have been doing well enough that
Dire's bottom tower.
these other enemy heroes just aren't a threat. And then they're sadly mistaken. Double damage rune on Timbersaw, but it is probably not going to have much happen to it before it goes away. No team fight happening too soon.
Definitely underlies the importance of maintaining communication with your team and letting them know how your lane is going and what threats are developing.
We're seeing better last hits and denies now come the end of the laning stage out of Dire.
Sorry, I was not.
Radiant is slowly starting to lose their lead. Silence come on to Timbersaw. What's he going to try to do? He's stuck here with a shackle and gets absolutely ripped apart by these two main ranged heroes.
Yeah.
Jakiro on the move. Light Striker Ray hits,
It's back off.
confuses Ogre Magi as he wanders around the trees. He does his own stun for a little bit of loss of a Laguna blade against that Nyan Pudge. Chakram right in the middle of Nyan Pudge's guts, spreads them all over the battlefield. Good shackle shot as they try to disengage, but Precious Sausage hangs around in the fire. This is not on your side this game. Finally gets out of there. Jakiro backing up into the trees. And another TP in from Spectre as Invoker comes in to clean up some of these wounded people. Another excellent shackle. No, it hits a creep and a lava dude.
Expensive fight for both teams, but it's no secret who won.
That Invoker clutch rushing and some great spells coming out of him. I'm sad that we missed the upper portion of this fight.
And
Oh,
also a
Jeff,
very
yeah.
critical buyback from
Bottom tower.
Timbersaw. I mean, he died a second time, but he definitely contributed a great deal to turning that fight around.
The Dire gave up bottom tower.
I'm gonna quick rewind enough to see fight recap.
I don't like.
Oh, that doesn't show everything. Well, given all that we saw, who do you suppose won that team fight?
It was a complete wipe in favor of Vikings in the end.
True. Though it was a dieback for one of them.
That's definitely going to slow Timbersaw down a little bit, but he's so far ahead right now, I'm not sure it matters.
With this.
But Invoker is sitting on a 30 KS lead above the highest Dire hero.
Invisibility.
This isn't his stuff.
Awesome.
What is this going toward?
I'm going Silver Edge for
Oblivion
Timber.
staff?
That's what I would
And
expect.
for Spectre.
Interesting. Invoker hanging out invisible here at bottom lane.
Oblivion Staff still builds into Orchid.
Oh,
Invoker moving up, invisible, going into the trees. Getting close.
We're out.
No
Everybody
tower
we're
there
out.
to detect him. Is he going to be able to cold snap Wind Ranger? No, apparently not. Drow
They even
Ranger
have
died.
decided that was bait.
Shackle shot, power shot,
Yeah, it was
but no
smart
follow-up. Now, Mark II might be in trouble. Gets hit by the tornado.
play. Maybe.
Dodges the dragon slave too high up in the air. Great shackle shot. Lots and lots of damage coming out of these forged spirits. And Viper comes in to try to help. Will he be a sacrificial lizard? Barely makes it out. Well, not really barely. Walks out, flies out,
And
far behind the other tower.
very.
Timbersaw right on Jakiro's face.
Yes,
Excuse
yes.
me, that's not.
You
They're on
are
the same team.
best person
Ogre Magi
I ever
wandering
have
over here,
known
maybe to try to be of
ever in
help,
my life.
runs into far too many members of the
I
enemy
want to
team.
kiss you. You have a pretty mouth.
Has a bad day.
There's some painful moves going on here, Steve.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
I was down to 7 HP there.
If this had gone like the last game, these guys would be insufferable for
Now,
hours.
this tower could use a repair.
They need a little humility in their diet, then, you're saying.
No.
I don't know if I'd say a little.
Are they Roshi maybe? No, they're not.
Let's go over some item builds. I'm seeing a real
Ooh,
lack
a very aggressive 2 TP build from Drow.
That's got to be a. Fuck. It's a 0 there, like it's an empty slot. That's weird. I think that's a bug. I have been rewinding.
I think that's cheating.
Ah. And probably correct.
Okay.
Nyan Pudge claimed that he was reinstalling Windows on his machine,
Radiant structures
but
down.
Day of a tournament seems unlikely.
yeah, exactly. First mid-tier 1 tower is expected to go down here if they use up the Sunstrike array. Excuse me, light. What is that? Sunstrike. Hits Nyan Pudge, and he's barely getting away here now. Great move in from a greedy Jakiro getting himself killed on a Drow,
Such as
and they disengage.
Actually, that went surprisingly well in favor of Domino's. There's certainly room for it to go wrong, though, so I'm keeping my
Yeah, we're
fingers
in a
crossed.
slightly precarious
Fortunate for them that
position.
Spectre, as wounded as she is, able to get away.
Continuing the jungle.
Now they really need to use windows like this to now spread out, farm, and not die. I can see that their wards are not quite as aggressive, though plentiful, for the dire side in this game.
Yeah, I definitely understand the defensive wards here. And as you say, they need to spread out and make up some of this chaos gap that we're seeing.
Got some weird bugs going on here. Torman's shield on cooldown on Witch Doctor. This is unfortunate. I'm almost inclined to hop out and hop back in again just because I know it won't take long. DD Rune on Timbersaw. And a Bloodstone completed. 12 charges right now.
That's fine.
That is not good news for our happy friends up here in Dire.
Going for it this early is a little bit
My
greedy.
silence
It
is
could
open.
backfire on him if he doesn't manage to maintain this momentum.
Right you are, Steve.
Got me. Yeah, they got us.
And he has certainly shown
There, Wilson.
that he's willing to throw himself out overconfidently and end up actually not ready for a fight. One thing I've noticed good Timbersaw's doing is that they might, expecting a fight, hang out amongst some creeps, build up a bunch of reactive armor, then go into the fight already at 10, 15, 20.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to watch him, but I don't think I've seen that happen so far. And that's kind of been one of his problems and why he's maybe not as tanky as he's expected.
That is true, though. I mean, you can expect with Drow and Wind Ranger around the possibility of building up charges very quickly once the fight starts.
Scouting around, seeing that these creep camps are missing. Oh, snap. I wasn't even watching the lane. Fight going on. Ogre Magi thrown up into the air, hit by everything under the sun, and absolutely demolished. The Timber Chain doesn't even need to be used to finish off. I mean, it's used, but it doesn't connect with anything. And they get away with 2 kills.
Generous.
So good. Yeah.
I'm going to use this quick lull in the action to actually rejoin the match. How do I disconnect from here? Click on this. Click on watch. Click on. How do you disconnect? What?
I've heard uninstalling works.
I'm about to try that, Steve. Timbersaw coming in, diving deep but missing Witch Doctor, getting hit hard by Drow, and now the Death Ward, which doesn't quite get cancelled by the Ice Path. More and more damage coming on, but this time he's got the armor to take it down. And with Lena's spell, they're almost able to get killed by Odin's warriors.
Right, that is not an engagement I would be proud of.
And they were so close too. A few more of the right moves instead of all this physical damage would have been much better. However, Jakiro's caught out and his Ice Path does nothing, facing down the wrong way and apparently bugged. Wow. There we go. That was longer than I would have expected.
Guys.
Does Jakiro have a Ags or something? Oh, maybe this button gets us out. Oh, should I risk it? I'm going to risk it. I think they're breaking off for a little bit. Here we go. Reconnecting. Friends. Romans.
It's terrible advice.
Yeah, hopefully.
And we're back. With more Dota action for your prying eyes. How did you find this video? Creeps.
I think we should try some.
Beautiful little Dragonlance coming out of Viper. Should definitely help his survivability since he won't have to be in the middle of a fight.
He'll be able to
If they get a
contribute from
second
Fountain.
match, we can try it. But
That's if you buy 3 or 4, I think.
Oh, I don't know. The way this is going, he might only need the one.
Good builds coming out of a lot of these team
Yeah.
members. Windranger going Orchid, no doubt against, Invoker or Timbersaw, whoever he happens to run into.
Both will be excellent targets for that.
Force Staff coming the way of Witch Doctor. Mechanism, naturally, on Viper. What do we have on our last guy? Ah, interesting pickup. Shadow Blade on Drow Ranger. Kind of a classical pickup. Meanwhile, we're talking about the Dyer's item pickups, and Freaking Spectre picks up Radiant. Oh joy.
It's going well enough for them that I don't think I can criticize that by.
Oh yeah, certainly, certainly.
Money to burn.
If she's got the cash to spend. Looking at net worth, Invoker with an impressive lead. I would have expected Spectre, honestly.
Falling out of control.
Yeah. Mark II's
usually
probably
it's
balling
fine,
too.
it's just-
I can only hope.
Ah, Helm of the Dominator on Drow Ranger.
Yeah.
Let's also hope for maybe some ancient stacking. And they're making a move on the tier 1 tower here. Chakram, great way to pick up a lot of creeps.
Wow, someone hit Fortify.
Amazing. I thought this was tier 6, where all the scrubs
Anybody
play.
have any?
Great Gust coming back in there. Spectre running in the middle of them, knowing that she has some sort of Radiant, but guess what? It doesn't help you not die. However,
Both of you got that.
Light Striker Array and Invoker's Meatball destroying the pants off them. Meanwhile, Viper is left to his own devices and death, and the only survivor is Windranger. Spectre. Interesting play. I honestly thought she had like an Aegis or something the way she moved in, but I don't remember Roshan actually falling.
That was very aggressive. Possibly she expected her teammates to be closer behind her. But her sacrifice did get Domino's retreat to turn around and engage, and you can see how well that went for them.
They do, from what we've been playing, absolutely.
Another tier 2 down for the likes of Domino's.
That's
Why?
it. Go for the
Wow,
jugular.
the wombo there.
Scouting Forged Spirit. Probably deliberate.
GG, guys.
Picking
good
on the
try.
tower.
This was good battle cup, I think. It just sucks to lose in the end.
Bloodstone charges up to
It's
18
not
now.
called until they get it, yeah, that's for sure.
Very, very
Sorry, I didn't realize how premature that was.
dire looking. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the old graph. Ouch.
Oh,
It looks like one of their previous games, but tables turned. What's interesting is, even though it's about the reverse of the previous games, I have to admit that the losing team right now is playing a lot better than those other two teams.
he's really good if you have a guy who's really
Yeah,
good.
I think I have to concede that. They are doing fairly well to try and hold on. They're not throwing fights terribly. They're just getting poor engagements out.
Run up to the air by Yule. Timber Chain finishes her off. Death Ward coming down, but then he just gets cancelled up and chased off by the rest of the team. Jakiro looking for a good target for Ice Path. Witch Doctor making his way, dodging, keeping away from the trees. But Timber Saw is just really fast running in here and picking off the stragglers. They're falling like some continual, like one after the other. What is that word? Dominoes. That's it.
You wounded my soul.
Soul wound. I'm gonna send that idea into Ice Rock. That needs to be a spell. GG. Exceptional play coming
I've
out
got the
from
Vector. I've got the
all
Vector.
the team members of Vikings. Odin's Vikings.
This Invoker especially is just hammering people down.
Yeah, there's no way. That guy.
It's impressive that he's been able to play as aggressively as he has while maintaining so much farm.
Right you are, Steve. And he's been able to make good usage of his Aghanim Scepter as well. Jumping over to Sunstrike, making that land. Ice Wall just about finishes him off, Ice Path. But it doesn't quite turn in his favor and he ends up having to TP out. Loki being sacrificed dude under the Death Ward. Hangs around longer. He's not going to be able to TP out. He's not going to be able to Blink Dagger. Maybe he'll be able to take out someone in the meantime, but no. He ends up bloodstoning himself, and he'll be back for more almost immediately. A few, like 25
I'm
seconds.
betting they'll do one on Sunday.
Well, we've seen an impressive series come out of Domino Beat the Crew. Hopefully they'll be able to learn from this interesting game.
And uninstall Dota.
Uninstall Dota. Biggest mispick. What do you think? Viper?
I think bringing along the Anfudge was the wrong choice. He's just a terrible player, and they could have instead brought along a bot or something.
Makes sense why Odin didn't even bother banning Anfudge. They kind of knew what to expect. Cool shackled, though. I mean, for what it's worth.
There's definitely potential for Dominoes to pull off some interesting plays here. They just do not have the muscle for follow-up on it.
Kind of disappointed we don't see a Visage with this Drow. Drow is supposed to be able to stand up on her own now that she's kind of been reworked. But, dang. The Vikings didn't even try to ban Visage that I remember.
I mean, we're definitely seeing a range damage focus lineup, regardless, but
Yeah.
certainly some more unconventional takes.
Some seriously well-coordinated team fight. People's spells just constantly land when and where they're most needed. Ice paths on target. It's like Cake Town joined the other team. Shackle shattered an illusion. Man.
Dyer's mid tower won't last much longer.
Haven't seen a whole lot of Spectre. Tens and illusions, does damage with
They've
Radiance.
definitely been able to hold their own without her, but she's a good safety net to have around in case everything else didn't work.
Here we go. Possibly for the final push. Radiant have a lot of heroes that still have plenty of health and mana. They're sitting mid. It appears they just drew. Invoker or Lena just drew a split push and draw. Two lines, top and mid. Tornado misses. Dyer's last two heroes respawn, so they're at full strength theoretically right now.
Structure's looking
The
fortified.
glyph just blinked out before a fire blast is able to activate on Invoker. That's an impressive Invoker. Yules, Aghanims, Blink Dagger. The mark of a player who seems to be very comfortable with very high-paced, high-action Invoker.
Really the ideal type of player to be running it.
Yeah. And then he came out and did everything. He had Midas and Burn at 11 minutes. Or not Burn, Midas and Burns.
Ouch.
High ground is just not doing much to deter the Vikings from pushing in.
Indeed.
Give Banham work.
That tornado from Invoker just sets up so many team stuns, sets up so many team nukes, macro
There's the
fire.
GG.
That's the
Thank heaven, it's over.
Finally. Oh, that ugly building is gone.
I don't think anyone would argue that the best team we saw tonight didn't win.
Oh, look at this. Mark II Salty.
Yeah.
Neat Smurf, he says.
That's right.
Such
Feed me your tears.
3 blink daggers. Ah, glorious. But yeah, I want to say that the lineup from Radiant was
Yeah, that's probably right.
known from the get-go, because a lot of these aren't so much as counters to what the Dire has, as it seems like it's just a really good team.
Absolutely. They worked together well, they rotated aggressively, they played dynamically and were where they needed to be, with a couple exceptions.
Indeed,
No,
indeed.
that's
Hey, thanks
good,
for
guys.
watching. This is Steve and Scoots signing off.
Yeah.
Steve, anything before we go?
You're a terrible audience, I hate you.